I was doing some research on Amazon and I found a potentially profitable niche, which I am about to share with you at this moment. It's called the Bible Verse Mapping Journal for Women. I went on TikTok and I started searching up if anybody was already creating content around this niche, and I found a flood of content about Bible verse mapping, and I thought it was very interesting. So I hopped on right now on Amazon and I decided to go ahead and look for the search results, and to my surprise, under Bible Verse Mapping Journal for Women, there are only 523 search results, which is extremely good. And I think that this is definitely a niche that is worth exploring, especially if you already create content on social media about journaling and faith and all that good stuff. Maybe this is something that you can add. This could be potentially a digital product that you can create and sell to your audience. In this video, we're going to go ahead and design a Bible verse mapping journal for women, but something that I want to go ahead and use is the Magic Studio Canva. Let's get started. To figure out the book's dimensions, I'm going to go ahead and use the KDP calculator, which I am going to place a link on the description down below so that you can go ahead and download. It's completely free and you can go ahead and use this so that I can give you the right dimensions. For this particular book that we're going to be creating, I'm going to use an 8.5 by 11. Number of pages, I'm going to leave it at 100. And then manuscript with bleed, I'm going to choose manuscript with bleed just in case I do use elements that extend to the edges of the paper. That way I don't have an issue if and when I decide maybe to upload this book onto Amazon KDP and publish it there. The dimensions that I'm giving here for trim size is 11.25 by 8.625. That's what we're going to use to create our template. We're here on Canva. I'm going to click on create a design. Then I'm going to click on custom size. And that's what we're going to put here. The width is 8.625 and the height, let's change this to inches. Forgot. 0.625 and the height is 11 by 25. Create new design. I went ahead and just jotted down some notes because I was looking at the Bible verse mapping journals across Amazon, and they all have similar, I want to say, content. And what I mean by content is they have, for instance, they have the space for translation, cross references, views of God, views of man, views of man. Reflection and application and prayer. I think it's view of self. I'm not sure. But as per my notes, we're going to go ahead and dive in. Let's get started with designing. So I'm going to go ahead and just title this Bible Verse Mapping Journal. Excellent. And then I'm going to use the Magic Media, and I want to come up with like a botanical type of cover. So what we can do is we can ask this AI, design a book cover with pink and purple flowers that looks like a botanical garden, I guess. Let's see if this prompt works. And let's see what this AI generates. By the way, I think that's my son in the background. I don't know if you can hear him. And okay, this is totally cute. I love this background. And let's see what else. I love this pink and purple. This one's cute as well. I kind of like this one. Let's see. Now let's just see how this works once I click on it and try to expand it here. That doesn't look too bad. So that's just one option for the book cover. I'm going to go ahead and add another page and see how this one would look. And then we can see how that, okay. Kind of like this one best. And then as for the elements, I'm going to go ahead and click on elements. And I'm going to search for a gold rectangle. Let's see. Let's see, something like this, perhaps. Okay. And then maybe I want to use this ribbon. Nah, don't like that. Okay, so I'm going to use this like this. And maybe I can use this ribbon if I, let's see. Oh no. Let me see if I can put something here. No. Oh, wait a second. Something like this. All right. Okay, something like this. And then I can put something like the title. And I can use this, and maybe perhaps it could be Bible verse mapping journal for women. Mapping journal for women. And then obviously we choose the font, make it look nice and classy. Not sure what to use for the font. I mean, that takes a long. For me, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I look for the font for any book cover, that can take me so long. I just like to explore and play around with different types of fonts. But for this example, I'm just gonna leave this as it is. Not sure I like that a lot, but okay, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I think I'm going to use, not sure how much I feel, how I feel about this ribbon, but I'm gonna add something in the bottom. Let's see, or I can duplicate this and put something like study 52-week journal to study the Word of God. Not sure if I can have, I should have that at the top or maybe somewhere here at the bottom. Maybe even here. Something like this. And maybe I can let me see if I can add something like this. Perhaps, I'm not too sure about this, but let's see. All right. I think I could leave it as that for now. 52-week journal. I want to add something in the top. It looks pretty, I want to say empty. I'm going to go ahead and add something at the top so it doesn't look so empty. Bible study journal. Whoa. Okay. So let me just expand that. Bible. And then maybe I can add something at the top. Let's see, something like maybe this. Let me just, what font is this? Okay, so this is Montserrat. I should put this bold. Maybe I can make this small. Maybe center this. Bible study journal. Something like this will do. I'm gonna go ahead and just add just put my name on it. Mendoza as the author, and then maybe change it to white letters, but even then you can't see it. So I'm gonna have to minimize it and put it somewhere down here. I guess let me add an effect. Okay, and then I'm going to change the font. Maybe if I put it down here. Nope. With other elements, I think you can. Okay, just for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Pretty sure you guys can come up with something amazing. So let's leave it at that. Maybe I can do something here to this one where I'm using gold rectangle, white. Let's see what comes up. Okay, cool. All right. Something like this. And then, wait. Oh no, that's no. Let's see, maybe I can use something like this where I'm just going to duplicate it. Have an idea. I'm going to position it to the back. Position it to the back. Whoa. Perfect. Something like this. And then I can add the tile. But this time, we could do something like this, where I go ahead and use a different type of font for the word Bible. Let's see. Bible. Ugh. Let me just go ahead and grab this word, put it here. Maybe a different font. Something with like a cursive, perhaps. That looks terrible. Something. Or maybe the other way around, where I do something like this, Bible, and then I can use this. Oh no. For women. Let me see if I can. Line spacing. Oh no, that looks terrible. Have an idea. Okay. Maybe I can maximize this. And then. All right. Bible verse. Mapping. Okay, and then at the bottom, I could put something. Okay, something like this. Not 100% happy with this, but something is something. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the bottom content, which I could just use something like this, what I have in that background. And, whoa, okay, here. So now I can do something like 52-week Bible study journal, something like that. So let's go ahead and make sure it's centered. This is give it a different font so that it's can be read. You see there, it's legible. Okay, so something like this will do for now. And then let's see. Okay, so we have, this is going to be the book cover number 1 and then book cover number 2. I can actually add my name at the bottom, but I'm just going to leave it at this for like this for now. And then let's go ahead and add a page. For the interior pages, I've noticed that a lot of the pages have like these dotted paper, like graph paper, something like this. And then I'll show you what I have seen so far for this. I've seen something like, let's see, circle, something like this. Let's do these. And then we're going to change the colors. So let's do this one here. Let's change it to one of these colors. And then we're going to, as a matter of fact, this is a really pretty color. Let me just continue to go put this around. Let me put it here. And then I'm just going to do another one. And then see. Okay, something like this. All right, something like this, right? And then in the middle, we can do the actual Bible verse. So we could do something like this. And then we can change that color. We can give it a purple or something like that. And what this is, for example, we put a Bible verse here. So we can even actually add the heading, and we could say Bible verse, right? And then, wait a second. Let's go ahead and do this like this. This is a very pretty font. I like this. So we can do it like this. Let me change the color to white. Wait a second. Let's change the color to white. So that's going to be the Bible verse. And maybe here are going to be spaces for just different thoughts concerning that Bible verse. Maybe breaking the Bible verse, breaking down the Bible verse, and perhaps writing our thoughts based on each of, some Bible verses are extremely long. So our thoughts on each sentence or something like that. It's just an idea. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another page. I'm going to use the same thing where I have the graph paper, the dotted paper. I'm going to go back and let me go back. And then I'm going to use it. It's going to be under recently used. So we can use that. And then on this one, let me look at my notes, cross references. So now we're going to create, I guess, spaces. So let's say rectangles. And then we can create different spaces. So for this one, let's say, let me just expand it a little bit more. Okay, we could change the color, maybe to this type of green or like a yellow. And in this space, let me go ahead and just duplicate these words where it says Bible verse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put cross references, right? Okay. Then we can do another views of God and view of man. So we can do something like this, where, let's see, how can we do this? Whoa. I moved it. I shifted the thing. We can continue to do rectangles here, and we can do view of God, like how you view God, or let's see. Okay, and then we're gonna do another one, and then maybe where we can do, which I saw, view of man, and then we could do view of man. Okay, great. And then I have seen where some of these categories are numbered, and we can do something like that too. So let's say, for example, we could use something like this, like what we see here, and then they're going to pop up here under magic recommendations. So if you want to use numbers to categorize each one of these sections, okay, cross references, view of God, and you can do this. You could just continue to do this over and over again. I haven't really explored too much about this whole Bible verse mapping journal thing, but go ahead and check it out. That's why I'm creating this video, so that you can explore this, especially if your content on social media already, the content that you're producing is faith-based and you just want to give your audience, you can even, what I would even explore is, let's say, doing one of these Bible verse mapping journals where each video you, I guess, go through one whole section of the Bible verse study. And then you can do that together with your audience. You could do it live on YouTube. You can interact with your audience this way. And that way it gives you the opportunity to study the Bible as well. Prepare for this, prepare for your live, and then actually have this as your digital product to sell to your audience so that you can all be on the same page doing this together. So I think this is pretty cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another page using the same background. Let's say recently used. And now let me look at my notes. It says reflection, application, and prayer. So what I can do here, I can use this, and then for reflection, let's see, let's use another rectangle. And you can get creative with this. You can use like rectangle post-its, rectangle, let's see, rectangle post-it. Let's see. Wait. Oh, that's why I'm under shapes. So you have post-its. You can get creative with this as well, and make it a post-it kind of Bible verse mapping journal, which I think would be very interesting and different. So let's say we would do something like this, and then here, according to my notes, reflection and application. So we can add a title, reflection and application, allowing your audience to reflect upon the Bible verse, the study of it, and how they can apply it to their lives. I think this is very cool. And then we could do something like this, and even have some lines in it. We can definitely use some lines. Say lined. Oh wait, paper lines. And let's see what we find here. Do something like this. Could be just a little tricky. Okay, and then what we do is we edit image because it's very long. So we edit the image, we crop, and we make sure that we crop just enough, and then done. And then you have your couple of lines to write, and then it says reflection and application, and then prayer, of course. So we can go ahead and add another post-it. Let's go ahead and look for more post-it looking elements, sticky notes. Let's go to graphics, and then we can add another rectangular one. And you could do something like this just to make it different and unique. Let's go ahead and just minimize this a little bit. Maybe change the color to like a purple. And then let's go back and see what we find here. Let me see something like this. Kind of like this. It's very well, it's very, I kind of like it. Let's just leave it as is. So I can do something like this. I'm going to crop it and maybe up to there. Done. Perfect. And then now I'm going to click on position and put it back. So you have like a little, so it looks like this. Now here, I'm going to put the title. Let me duplicate this. Make the letters white so they can stand out, and add the word prayer. Expand it a little bit and then move it here. And then we can go ahead and write the prayer in that section. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click on subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you actually produced your own Bible verse mapping journal. And I will see you on the next video.